Hey, you might think I'm the dumbest person on planet Earth, but check this out. Sister Giant 2015. This is what they do.
We're gonna take a few more questions in a minute, but I would like to throw out some statistics, and there are lies, damn lies, and statistics, so you can question whatever you like. But let's just have this as a conversation starter, or even just a placeholder in your own mind. Food and agriculture needs to be right at the top of all of our agenda,
right,
along with finance reform. But let's have a look. Livestock and their byproducts account for at least 32 million tons of carbon dioxide per year, or 51% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions.
Sorry, guys.
This was a report that came out a little while ago that was written by some World Bank advisors. And they calculated not only what animals were producing themselves with regards to these gases, but also from the clear cutting of rainforest, for the grazing, for the row cropping, for all of those things. The UN says 14.5% of greenhouse gases come from animal agriculture. Now, whichever end of that spectrum we're looking at, 51% or 14.5, it's a massive, massive piece of the puzzle here. Some more statistics. Animal agriculture ranges from 34 to 76 trillions, agriculture ranges from 34 to 76 trillion gallons of water annually. Animal agriculture uses a range of between 34 to 76 trillion gallons of water annually. Growing feed crops for livestock consumes 56% of water in the United States.
Wow.
This is a good one. One hamburger requires 660 gallons of water to produce it.
Oh
the equivalent of 2 months worth of showers. Now, if you're in California and you're worried about water, we need to be worrying about whether our taps are dripping and whether we take long showers, but we really need to be looking at what we're eating. And I'm talking specifically about the stuff that's really industrially produced. Let's have a look at a few more. I'm just doing my Bernie moment. I don't have a wife that tells me I shouldn't do this. 477 gallons of water are required to produce 1 pound of eggs, and 900 gallons of water are needed for cheese. 1 pound of cheese. This is a really important statistic where we're thinking about the efficiencies of food. So what is it that is, or when I say that what is on your plate really matters, I mean what's on your plate really matters. Federal policy is really one thing, but what you choose every day is having a massive impact on the environment.
So I guess the people really are in charge.
1,000 gallons of water required to produce 1 gallon of milk.
Come on.
So this is when you're adding up how much water is going on the crops, how much, all this transport, everything like that. Now, all of these things are, as I've said, it's a very inflammatory documentary, and I do think that you should take a look at it, Cowspiracy.
Cowspiracy.
You can look on their website and see where these things are quoted from. So, again, I'm quoting the statistics, and I haven't done the research myself, but I want to have a look as well at oceans, because I think that oceans are an area
I love you, oceans.
Severely neglecting.
Yes, they are.
Pulling out millions and millions of tons of fish every single year, not allowing the stocks to regenerate. Our oceans are decimated. In the same way that we're clear-cutting the rainforest, we are stripping the oceans of life.
Wow.
Now, for every 1 pound of fish that's caught and landed back, we're throwing away about 5 pounds of what's called bycatch. So it's stuff that they get stuck in these massive trawler nets, but that is not the kind of species of fish, or it's too young or whatever, that it's not going to come to market, so it's just thrown back as bycatch. So we're actually pulling out so many more millions or trillions of tons than anyone really acknowledges. And
this lady's a great speaker.
Lastly, when we're looking at the rainforest, Dennis did an interview yesterday for a documentary about trees, and I said, well, let's really look at land use. Because if we're really worried about this next wave of extinction, which we are a massive part of, I don't know if you know, but we are in the next wave of extinction now. Another happy thing, Marianne. We're losing hundreds and hundreds of species every single year because we're not allowing for the wildlands to be able to be sustainable. And when Larissa talks about indicator species, such as the monarch butterfly, or when we see our pollinators, our bees crashing for some reason.
Yeah, I heard about that. What's up?
Wildlands are really falling apart. But when we're looking at a rainforest, one of the largest reasons why rainforests are being clear-cut is so that we can grow soy, or we can have cattle being raised in them. So the soy to feed animals, or the cattle to actually be on them. And of course, the land is very, very poor. And relating back to that, then we need to think, well, hang on a minute, why are we cutting down rainforest, which has really bad soil? It's not what we can be growing food on for hundreds of years. Why are we doing that and at the same time building strip malls up in the Midwest? Why are we allowing for urban sprawls? Why when I drive along the road, or I fly in a plane, which I shouldn't do, but I do, why when I'm doing all of those things do I see this beautiful land and people not growing any vegetables on their gardens?
That's what I've been saying.
Trees are completely clear cut when new developments come in. Why are we paving over this wonderful prime farmland and then causing pressures on other environments around the world? So again, looking back at your individual plate is the way that you change the world.
Wow. Okay, so it looks like Sister Giant is a good thing that we might want to all start looking at, because these people are making moves.